Hello again everyone. Just following up on that last video I made on the BRNO Semi Automatic, and I went to the range in the meantime, and usually the same thing happens. If one sees a 22 Semi Auto at the range, it's usually a Ruger 1022. Nothing wrong with the Ruger 1022, they seem to sell them by the trainload, but then once in a while one wants something different. So over time I bought different semi-automatic 22s, and I thought today I would show you the BRNO 22. They have different models and different model numbers, and I don't always remember exactly, so I think probably the best thing is I'll read it off the action. This particular rifle is a 22, but they also make a 22 Magnum version. They make a 17 HMR version, and then you might be surprised they make a 9mm, and I actually took this to the range, which if you look at the actions, they're roughly the same. Of course they have to be modified to accommodate the recoil forces of the 9mm round, but these are blowback actions, so it's a matter of balancing the power of the spring, the weight of the bolt, with the rearward momentum of the recoil forces that the cartridge generates. And it's just a timing game. The action is never locked really, except held closed by a spring and by the weight of the bolt. And the 9mm was fantastic. I thought it might not work well. It's got a typical 10 round magazine. I think it's 10. I always load just 7, but anyway, that's just a personal thing. Straight blowback operation. It's a takedown. And why did I pick the BRNO? Well, have a look at this receiver. This is the 9mm. Just a beautifully machined, in a way, work of art. When you compare it with a 1022 or some of the other semi-autos on the market, this one is the model 515 semi-auto. Sorry, they've got a different number on this one. I looked at them before filming, and ZKM 611. This is the 611. And then there's another model number for the 17 HMR and another model number for the 22 Magnum. But you can look all that stuff up. You'll remember what the rifle looks like. Beautifully made barrels, proper rear sight, proper front sight, hood on that one. I guess the other one has a groove for a hood, but it's not there right now. So naturally I had no jams with the 22. I had no jams with the 9mm. Everything worked perfectly. And the only other thing I wanted to mention to you, other than encouraging you to go out and buy these, there's something about the Czech Republic. I said it the other day when we were looking at their high power rifles, and it's always, you know, something to do with the country's history and then the structure of their economy and the cost of labor and so on. But the quality and the way they go about making firearms it's kind of, I guess you would call it old school. I would probably call it good school. Wood stocks. Now this is an older model, so I'm going to kind of contradict myself. It's not perfect checkering, but there's a walnut stock that's properly shaped, a steel receiver, a steel magazine. Everything about it is, I would say, first class. And then I guess the accounting department got a hold of somebody at the factory, and this is the 9mm, and my 22 Magnum looks like this, and so does my 17 HMR, and I don't know what you see, but to me this may as well be a 2x4, and I have no idea why. I suppose, like I said, it's the accounting department. I mean, to turn this down and put some checkering on it, how much can that cost? But I suppose over tens of thousands of firearms, it adds up to maybe the profit margin. You've seen my theory in defense and a few of my 9mm carbines. I'll just show you the muzzle in case a couple of people didn't believe it was 9mm, but it is. So this is a center fire. The magazine, I noticed, is not made in the Czech Republic. It's made in Italy. but it works perfectly. I didn't have any problem with feeding or ejection, and at 50 yards this was well under an inch, and that was just with the iron sights. I didn't put a scope on either one of these. So I mean, rating these guns, this one has also PPK on the side, made in the Czech Republic, and the model number is 619. And I say that just because a lot of people encourage me to be more accurate with my model numbers. But when you've got a whole bunch of guns, it's hard to keep track of all these model numbers, and I more recognize the guns by what they look like. And anyway, it doesn't matter. I should probably focus a little more on model numbers, but they're easy to find on the web, and they're well priced. So if you want something that's reliable, is not a 1022, and is made to old world standards, plus is a takedown, there's the takedown screw on that one, you can't go wrong with these BRNOs. It's actually remarkable, like I said, that they make them at all, but somehow they do. If you can find these stocks, some seem to have them. I guess it's date dependent, and then you can see this is beech or birch. Beech, I think, has this type of look, and they put some stain. Probably needs more stain and more finish, but I think if I keep this one, I'll probably take this down. It's easy to reshape this into that, and I seem to have lost the patience for checkering some years ago, but I used to checker, and it's actually kind of a good pastime, but I don't know if I'll get to it. Anyhow, so this adds to the inventory of videos on 22s. And we'll look at the other one. I forget the model number. I think it's 611 or something, and that seems to be market dependent. But right now, I would say this is a very nice 22 for the money. And the 9mm, I mean, it's definitely the least intimidating or shocking 9mm carbine, and extremely accurate, and no reliability issues, nothing. And because because of the bore diameter, it's actually lighter than the 22. There's just less steel in the barrel, so it's quite light, quite handy. Anyway, that's a wrap. So thanks for watching.